Hey, 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 hey. Hi, everyone. We're just going to hang out here for a bit while we wait for Dr. Banks. But I'm hoping that everyone is doing well. Had a good, hopefully restful weekend if you had the opportunity to actually rest. But nonetheless, I hope that your weekend was fabulous. I'm in Arizona, like most people know already, and it has been hot. That's an understatement. It's normally hot, obviously, in July in Arizona, but for me, or to me at least, it has been extra hot. Like the heat is the heat is on. So I'm just staying inside. That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of summer. So if you need me, I'll be inside the house. Yeah. So, anyways, again, I think our girl is here. There she is. Hi, my friend. Yeah, there we go. I just discovered, which is really, really funny. I just discovered, and Dr. Banks knows this about me, I'm technically challenged. And I just discovered, sure of yourself, put on makeup and that kind of stuff. I just discovered it. Whatever. It's better late than never. There she is.
Hi, I'm trying to get myself together over here.
Okay. Okay. No, I was just sharing, and I know that you would get a tickle out of it because you know that I am um, technically challenged and I'm learning.
Mhm.
And as I went into this live just now, I discovered that you can change like the appearance.
Oh yeah,
Okay. I'm a little slow, but I'm always on time. That's what
it's
I'm saying.
okay. Right on
Okay.
time. Right on
That's what
time.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, how are you doing, beautiful?
I'm good, and I
All
like the
right.
hair.
Ditto,
Okay.
ditto, ditto, ditto. I think
Yeah.
yours is lighter and it's
Yeah.
really, really pretty. I didn't go that light, but decided to do a lighter tone this time around instead of purple. So here we are.
Okay. Well, I love it. We are twinning again. Twinning and
Okay.
winning.
Okay. Twinning and winning. So do you want to go ahead and kick us off?
Sure. Sure. I
Cool.
feel so far away from this thing. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully they can't hear me in the next office, but it is what it is. Or maybe they
Okay.
can hear me and they'll get a little bit of this goodness over there. Okay.
Hello.
So, happy Mindset Monday. Happy Momentum Mindset Monday.
Yes.
And we are here to answer your questions and to give you mindset tips and tools to get through the day, to get through the week, to start off this next month, not just to survive, but to thrive.
Right.
So we are
Absolutely.
teaching you how to thrive. So
Yes.
the first question is it wrong that I sometimes feel relief after my loved one passed away? And this is very deep, very heavy.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Feeling relief, especially if your loved one was suffering or if you were under caregiver distress, is natural and valid response. Grief includes a wide range of emotions. Relief does not cancel out love. Relief does not cancel out sadness. It reflects the complexity of our human experience. So, for example, although I miss my mom, and it's 7 years later, when I moved to a new city, I moved from out of her home and I was 2 hours away from her. And I often worried about her and her mental health and her physical health and not being there to help her with her heart condition and things like that. So I was really, really worried about her.
Right.
And of course, I was sad and devastated, when she transitioned. But to be real, I also felt a sense of relief because my mom, she called herself hard candy for reasons. And she would often sometimes still jump out of cars with her cane if somebody said things the wrong way. So I would often worry about my mom jumping out the car and caning people.
Right.
I would often worry about her driving and just different things. She lived in pain. She had about 15 different medications,
Mm.
mental pain, physical pain.
Right.
So although it was very, and it still is very hard dealing with that, I actually still had a sense of line of relief that I was not like worried about her, that like somebody wasn't going to do anything to her, that something wasn't going to happen to her.
Right.
And even me finding her in her home and finding her like
Mm.
that, I was like, damn, at least somebody didn't call me and have to tell me,
Right.
and I didn't have to find out from somebody else. I found out and I jumped into action. So it was a lot of stuff with that.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
But it was still a sense of relief.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my mental health tip.
Hmm.
Sorry. Dang,
No,
you
hey, 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 we
ready to
don't
kick
say
it off.
hello, but we don't say sorry here for
I
our
know.
listeners. Okay, we don't say sorry here. So carry on, my sister. Mm,
Yes.
you got
Mental
this.
health tip.
Yes.
Practice radical self compassion. Each morning, acknowledge your emotional truth without judgment. Say, today, whatever I feel is okay.
Mm,
My feelings are valid. The daily affirmation can ease guilt and allow space for emotional honesty.
mm.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, no, seriously, you brought up a lot of emotions with that first question. Is it wrong that sometimes you feel a little relief after a loved one has passed? And it sparked.
Let me grab a tissue. I need to keep the box
Get
closed
get
or
get
something.
get your tissue, girl, because it's sparked something in me about, I think and some of the people that are viewing this and will view this know that my brother transitioned out of this life in January of this year, and the way he transitioned was through his own doing. And I remember thinking when he was missing, because we didn't know where he wasn't answering calls, the police couldn't find him. I kept thinking to myself, I hope that he's not laying somewhere, right? This is a little bit of a different twist to feeling that relief and feeling that grief simultaneously, because we did receive a phone call and that grief struck immediately, but so did relief that he was found and that we knew where he was and that he wasn't laying, in a vacant field somewhere, or whatever. He wasn't, and they found him. So I love this question. I love your transparency with your own personal situation of dealing with that relief. And I just want people to know, you've already said it, but I just want to reiterate it. It is 100% natural to feel that relief simultaneously with grief. So, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, look, we done started all heavy.
Welcome to
Woo!
Monday.
Yeah, okay, hello, hello, Monday.
But
So,
the funny thing is, actually,
yeah.
I'm working on something, and right
Hmm.
before I got on the live, I was recording myself practicing talking about this and
Okay,
talking about my why and my mom and stuff like that. So that's
right.
probably why it kind of hit me the way
So
it hit me,
here.
because I was just now thinking about it too. So
Right. No, awesome. Thank you for sharing that seriously. And thank you for that question and the tip that went along with it. Woo! Okay, number two, because that's where we're at, right?
Mhm.
Excuse me. Why am I grieving so deeply over a breakup when it wasn't even a good relationship? Okay, you're not just grieving the person, you're grieving the future you imagined, the emotional investment, and perhaps even your identity within that relationship. Even unhealthy relationships can carry deep meaning, comfort, or familiarity. Letting go of that can feel like losing part of yourself. I'm going to jump right into the tip. So, the tip for this is to write a grief letter to the version of yourself that was in that relationship. Acknowledge what you hoped for, what you lost, and what you're letting go of. not just about the person, but about you in that chapter of your life. Okay, hold on. Wow. It must be emotional Monday.
Oh, good. At least we're in
Okay.
a safe space.
All right. All right. So this helps externalize your pain and begin separating your identity from the relationship. I took this question and I took it a little bit further than just a romantic relationship in my thought. Like you're grieving not just the breakup of a relationship, but you're grieving the loss and that relationship. Like for example, my brother that I've already mentioned, and I did write a letter to him. I sat down and oh my gosh, oh, wow, happy Monday. Yeah, hello. But I sat down and I wrote a letter to him. And I shared with him, my emotions, my feelings. I cried obviously while I wrote that letter. And then I burned that letter. I burned the letter. I didn't hold on to it because I felt as if getting it out in on paper and reading it, obviously as I'm obviously reading it, helped release that feeling of deep regret, sadness, because I was his older sister. So I was supposed to take care of him. Wow. What a Monday. Um, yeah, I was supposed to look out for him, right? I'm his older sister. And I felt like I had failed. But writing that letter not only helped me release this at that moment, it actually helped me to better understand, if this makes any sense, where my brother was coming from during his time and his season in his life to where he felt that this was no longer, life was no longer a viable option. And it helped me to just soothe that anger and that frustration and that feeling of guilt. So you're not just grieving that person, you're grieving what you thought of as the future, because I definitely thought a lot about my brother in my current life and how he and I would get together and maybe go on a vacation or something together, and I thought about the future with him. So you're grieving a multitude of things, not just the fact that that person is no longer here. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Yes.
Wow.
And I will say you were and you are the big sister that did protect. So job well done, regardless of outcomes.
Woo.
You are and you were that big sister.
Thank you.
And I think we grieve our expectations. Like you said,
Wow.
we expect, we want, we
Yeah.
hope, we desire,
Right.
and if it is a relationship with a man and a woman, or a ship that's a that type of relationship,
Right.
you may have lost yourself, so you may be grieving yourself.
Right.
You may have, again, unmet expectations that, regardless of how the relationship looked like,
Right.
you wanted something, you invested something, a year, two,
Absolutely.
5, 10, 15.
Hello.
So
Hello.
grief comes in different shapes and forms. And I will also say sometimes my clients have a hard time with the writing aspect. I would say record yourself too. We
Oh,
also
absolutely.
have the empty chair. So you can actually talk to yourself. You can talk to that loved one. You can talk to the empty chair. So that's
Yeah.
another way. And if you don't feel comfortable in talking to an empty chair, pick up your phone and record yourself. I say, talk your ish. Talk to
Okay.
yourself. Talk to that person. The things that you would not say to anybody but sweet baby Jesus, say
Hello.
it to that recording. You don't even have to play it back. Sometimes you can just delete it.
Put it
You don't even
out.
have to listen to it. But it's something cathartic about the writing or
Yes.
the speaking to release.
Right.
And even now, as you see that we're sharing cheers, it's something cathartic, it's something somatic about releasing
Right.
what we're thinking and what we're feeling through through our tear ducts. So
Absolutely.
writing and speaking and having this grief letter is just another way to help you put into a format outside of your brain.
Right.
When you keep things in your mind, it's easy to get stuck there.
Right.
When you release it through
Fix it.
words or written format, then it's easier to have it and hold it and work through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I love this question. And I love that we are holding space for each other today. So thank
Yes,
you.
we are. And it's no better
Absolutely.
person that I'd rather hold space with every single Monday. Every
Goodness.
single Monday, this space that we hold does so much for me and all the people that I work with. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right.
So, question three. I
Uh-huh.
feel so embarrassed that I'm mourning the loss of a job. This is crazy because we're talking about grief, and it's not just a person, it could
Uh-uh.
be people, places, and things.
Right.
So, I feel embarrassed that I'm mourning the loss of a job. Isn't that part of life? All right. Losing a job can strike at your sense of purpose, your routine, your financial stability, and your identity. It's a major life change, a major shift. So grief is a natural response. Sometimes I think people think that we're the robots. We are not
Mhm.
AI. We created the AI. We
Uh-oh.
created the artificial intelligence, but it came through us. So
Right.
it's not just about the job itself. It's about what the job represented to you. Your feelings are valid. It's not a sign of weakness. To feel what you feel is what you do with your feelings that matter and how long you sit with those feelings. So, my mental health tip is validate your loss by naming what the job meant to you. So, the job meant security, the job meant stability, the job meant impact. What did that job mean to you?
Right.
Then create a simple 2 column list. In one column, write what you feel like you lost. I feel like every lesson can become a blessing. So I don't lose nothing. I take it as a lesson. But in
Hello.
one column, you can write it as your loss or your lesson. So, you lost daily structure, you lost a sense of purpose, you lost some financial stability. Really, you don't lose stuff if you can get it back. It's just temporarily misplaced. But
Hello.
anyway, right over there, what you feel like you lost or what you feel like you're lacking. And in the other column, write what those things meant to you emotionally. Did it mean security, confidence, identity? This helps you see that you're not just mourning a job, you're grieving your meaning, your aspects of your life. So by honoring those meanings, you reduce your shame, you open the door to rebuilding them in new ways. So it's okay that you attached some meaning to this job that you did. However, if you can look at it and see lessons and see impact and how you can learn and grow, then that can open the door to future possibilities.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to add, I remember when I lost a job, and something you said struck a chord again, is that you didn't lose. You really didn't lose anything. It is the closing of one door to open another door. But I remember before I realized that that was the case, that when I lost this job that I thought that I was going to be at for forever, and I was prepared to be at forever. Excuse me, when I lost it, I remember going into a really sad moment as to questioning, who I was and why wasn't I not good enough and how come I, couldn't hold on to this and couldn't hold on to that. I want to just reiterate what you said. You don't lose anything. You don't. You don't. It's just an open and closing of different doors because losing that job or that door closing on that job actually pushed me forward in my coaching business and wanting to be a mindset coach. And here we are, right? So look at losing a job as not losing a job. You're not losing anything. So there's that. I just looked at this, and number 4 is the same question. Woo! Let's see. Is it the same tip though?
No,
Oh,
so maybe we just do go ahead and do the
that
different tip.
that is wild. Look at us on a Monday. All right,
Mhm.
so it was the same question. So here's an additional tip. Um, Let me make sure I got this right. Number 3. Yeah. Okay. Here's a tip for feeling embarrassed about or mourning the loss of a job. Rebuild your sense of identity with a role inventory exercise. List out the different roles the job filled in your life. For example, you were a provider, expert, leader, social connector. Then identify new or existing ways you can still honor those parts of yourself outside the job through hobbies, community involvement, freelancing, or learning. This helps you realize that your worth wasn't tied solely to your job or your title. I want to talk about that. Those qualities still exist within you and can be expressed in other meaningful ways. I think that part of this morning, a job, is some people get really caught up in their title, right? I was the executive director, or I was the director, or I was this, or I was that. And that title you believe is who you actually are. And in fact, that's not who you are. That's just a title, right? Just like using this as an example, you and I are friends. That's just a title. It's a title, right? We're more than that because we choose to be more than that. We're more than that emotionally, mentally. We're more than that. So, understanding that titles can come and go, we can rename things as we want to rename things, I think will help us understand that those titles are not a direct reflection of who we actually are. That's it.
I like that. That was one of the things that I struggled with in life, a title and what a title meant or what you were supposed to do with it or how you're supposed to act with it and
Right.
and with or without a title, you still have to be with who you are.
Hello.
You make the title. Don't let the title make you.
There you have it. There you
Yeah.
have it. So, yeah. So, hey, we didn't have four questions today, which is really odd. Um, but we will have four questions in August, almost in October, because this is the last Monday of
Yes.
July. Where did
Yes. Thank
July
you
go?
guys for rocking with us through July and
Okay.
June and May. And
Right.
when did we start?
I done lost track. I'd have to go
Right.
back and look. I have.
I think
It
we've
feels
been
like
doing this all year now, right?
forever since
Yeah.
1986. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So I'm going to encourage you guys to hop over to
yeah.
Frankie's page and check out
Okay.
the links in her bio. She
Yes.
has some amazing workshops, some amazing journals, some amazing work that she's doing around grief and loss. And just share this live out. If you feel like it helped you in any way or it can help someone else, share it out. Follow our pages, like them. For me specifically, I need 1,000 followers to go live. So follow
Hello.
me and share this out because I am rebuilding and rebranding from last
Yes.
year. So, jump over to our bios. We have some freebies. We have workshops coming up. We are here to encourage you and support
Right.
you along the way. If you feel like you have a question that you want to get off your chest, that you want to get out your mind, and that you want some coaching and that you want some therapeutic tools and techniques, feel free to message Frankie or message myself, and we will be happy to answer your questions and get you some tips and tools to help you with that mindset.
Right.
Mindset elevation.
Hello. Hello. Listen, I was going to say this anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I would love everyone that is on my page, that follows me, that engages with me, to please hop over to Dr. Banks's page, follow her, because again, it's not about the numbers per se, but we do need to get her numbers back up
Because
because
it's about the numbers per se
okay,
now. Like,
because now it is about the numbers, right? Yeah, I didn't even know that until you brought that up. But nonetheless, I want you to go over and follow her page to help the numbers, but to also look at all the fabulous things that Dr. Banks is doing, all the resources that she has available as well. So please, please, please head over. All that will be here once we, post this live. But head over to her page and follow. That's it. Love
thank
you.
you. And
Yeah.
Frankie, I'm going to call this out there because it's about to be August.
What?
So you have from August to December to get it together for this visit.
Oh,
If we're
okay.
trying to close out 2025 with an actual in-person meeting, you guys, you and Mister,
Okay.
have from August to December. Get it
Trust me.
together.
Trust me, before this year, it might be December 20. What's how
The
many days?
winery is
31.
calling.
It may
My
be the
birthday's on
last day.
Christmas. So if you want to make it a Christmas present, you know.
We will be there. I promise you, we will be there before this year is over, my friend, because I
Yep.
need to give you a personal, deep hug and just, yeah, just be in your presence, not just, virtually, but in touch and feel live mode. So I love you.
I love you too, sis.
Go forward.
Well, you need to have a fabulous day after them cries. I'm like,
Okay.
shush, I need some ice cream, some cookies, some sunshine, a tree hug, walk barefoot, something.
Right, right. I'm actually going to go do one of those things now. So
All right.
love you.
I
Take care
love you
of
too.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.